They should stay open and aligned. Meditation and Reiki is a great way to be balanced. If you will, just visualize or imagine a beautiful silver crystalline waterfall. It sparkles, it shines, it's very beautiful. I want you to see this beautiful crystalline waterfall enter through the crown chakra at the top of your head. And it's going to move down through the chakras in the body. As it moves down through the chakras, the flow of energy will expand out into all of the cells. It moves down through the third eye chakra, sending the healing energy throughout the head area to every cell in that area. And it moves down through the throat chakra, sending out healing energy to every cell in the throat chakra area. You can feel the energy. It is beautiful and peaceful. You know it is healing as it moves down through the body. Now it is moving down to the heart chakra and sending out healing energy to all of the cells in that part of the body. The healing energy is moving down to the solar plex chakra and sending out healing energy to all of the cells in that area of the body. The healing flow of energy is moving down into the sacral chakra and is sending out healing energies to all of the cells in that part of the body. Now the healing energy is moving down to the root chakra, sending out healing energy to all of the cells in that part of the body. You can feel the healing energy moving through all of the cells of the body. It's beautiful and peaceful and has great power. It heals everywhere it touches. It's moving throughout all of the cells in the body. Just take a moment and enjoy the way that feels. That beautiful healing energy. The body has all of the energy that it needs to remain balanced and in harmony. Any excess energy that is not needed by the body to function in complete balance and harmony is passed off through the legs and feet. Anything that is not needed is passed out to the world as excess energy that anyone else can use. Now the body is in complete balance and harmony. I have a good body. I have a strong body. I have a healthy body. and my body is functioning in complete balance and harmony, functioning absolutely perfectly. This is the way it is and the way that it shall be. And now, if you would, integrate back into your body, back into this room, taking deep breaths, feeling wonderful all over, and take this with you throughout the week. And so it is.
So it is. Thank you, Nelda. That was beautiful. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we will get started with our vision and mission statement. Please stand and let us read together our vision and mission statement, along with our declaration of principles. CSL West Georgia is a CSL West Georgia is a joyful global community where everyone belongs. Through our unique spiritual teachings, we provide a safe environment to experience compassionate living. Our declaration of principles. I believe there is one creative intelligence operating throughout the universe. I believe my purpose is to allow this divine mind to express in, as, and through me. I know that this divine presence is a power for good, which responds to my conscious use to create a life filled with health, love, peace, success, and all things. I use it now and I rejoice in it. And so it is.
And remain standing, please. We're going to sing. We've got the whole world in our hands. Look who's back. Connie's back. She's feeling so much better. We've got the whole world in our hands. We've got the whole wide world in our hands. We've got the whole world in our hands. We've got the whole world in our hands. We've got the wind and the rain in our hands. We've got the wind and the rain in our hands. We've got the wind and the rain in our hands. We've got the whole world in our hands. All right. He's got the little tiny babies in their hands. We've got the little tiny babies in our hands. We've got the little tiny babies in our hands. We've got the whole world in our hands. We've got you and me, sister, in our hands. We've got you and me, brother, in our hands. We've got you and me, sisters, in our hands. We've got the whole world in our hands. Everybody here. We've got everybody here in our hands. We've got everybody here in our hands. We've got everybody here in our hands. We've got the whole world in our hands. One more time. Got the whole world in our hands. We've got the whole wide world in our hands. We've got the whole world in our hands. We've
Today's reading will be by Giovanni.
Giovanni. Here we go, right here.
God is all there is. God is in me.
Good, that's good. You got it.
I am in God. Today I am thankful for my life. I am thankful for my family. I am thankful for my friends. I am thankful for the beautiful world. I am thankful for everything, as so it is.
So it is.
Yeah, she's a reader. Ladies and gentlemen, our reader will be our very own Marsha. Give her a round of applause, guys.
Giovanni, you are a hard act to follow, my friend.
I know.
Wow.
That's what they say in showbiz. Don't follow children or dogs.
Well, or awesome people, period, right? Good morning, family. Today I am reading from the book Peace is Every Step, and it was written by Thich Nhat Hanh. And the subtitle is The Path of Mindfulness in Everyday Life. And the chapter that I'm coming from is called Hope as an Obstacle. Hope is important because it can make the present moment less difficult to bear. If we believe that tomorrow will be better, we can bear hardship today. But that is the most that hope can do for us, to make some hardship lighter. When I think deeply about the nature of hope, I see something tragic. Since we cling to our hope in the future, we do not focus on our energies and capabilities on the present moment. We use hope to believe in something will be better in the future, that we will arrive at peace. Hope becomes an obstacle. If you can refrain from hoping, you can bring yourself entirely into the present moment and discover the joy that is already here. Enlightenment, peace, and joy will not be granted by someone else. That well is within us. And if we dig deeply into the present moment, the water will spring forth. We must go back to the present moment in order to be really alive. When we practice conscious breathing, we practice going back into the present moment where everything is happening. Western civilization places so much emphasis on the idea of hope that we sacrifice the present moment. Hope is for the future. It cannot help us discover joy, peace, or enlightenment in the present moment. Now, many religions are based on the notion of hope, and this teaching about refraining from hope may create a strong reaction. But the shock can bring about something important. I do not mean that you should not have hope, but that hope is not enough. Hope can create an obstacle for you, and if you dwell in the energy of hope, you will not bring yourself back entirely into the present moment. If you rechannel those energies into being aware of what is going on in the present moment, you will be able to make a breakthrough and discover joy and peace right in the present moment, inside of yourself and all around you. Now, A.J. Muste, in the mid-20th century leader of the peace movement in America, who inspired millions of people, said, "There is no way to peace. Peace is the way." This means that we can realize peace right in the present moment with our look, our smile, our words, and our actions. Peace work is not a means. Each step we make should be peace. Each step we make should be joy. Each step we make should be happiness. If we are determined, we can do it. We don't need the future. We can smile and relax. Everything we want is right here in the present moment. Thank you.
That's beautiful. Well, we're glad to have Connie back. We're going to sing a Karen Drucker song for you this morning. In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes to see there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. When I lose myself, when it seems I've lost my way, then I go inside and quiet my mind. I can hear spirits sing. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. Now everybody can sing with us. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. So it is. It's good to have you back, Connie. You're sounding good.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hand together for our reader today. Our speaker today. Our speaker today, Miss Dawn Scotland.
Thank you. Oh, I gotta get my books. I can hear myself breathing. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for allowing me to address you this morning. It's just a privilege and an honor to be here and to have your attention. So let me just begin. Let me start off by asking, are there any recovering Christians in the room? Okay, very good. You're welcome here. You're welcome here. But you know what I wanted to, I don't want to say I struggled, but I was really having some difficulty trying to figure out what to talk about because I already talked about money. So, and I think I talked about my experiences the last time I spoke, and I was, well, what else is there, right? But, and someone else talked about love. I think it was Shauna talked about love or Dorothea. Anyway, so that's my other third favorite topic. But finally, in the wee hours of the morning, it came to me, my really favorite topic, and that is why religious science and Jesus are really, they're friends. They're more than friends. They're partners. So I just wanted to talk about that today and throw in a little bit of information that I've gleaned along the way, if that's okay with you. Okay. So first, I'm going to read to you we all know that even if you're a recovering Christian, your problem is not with Jesus. It's with the way Jesus, I think, was presented to you and perhaps used to maybe frighten you or condemn you. You know, people have a way of taking something that's for good and turning it into their own devices. And sometimes those are not always with the best intentions. I'll give you a good example. I put here today something that I just got. Does anybody know what this is? So I heard evil eye, right? And the reason I'm responding to that answer is because when I shopped for it, that's what I was looking for. Somebody was giving me some problems at work. And I'm not accustomed to that, you know? So I said, well, I'm going to get an evil eye and I'm going to put it in my office where they can see it as soon as they open the door, because the evil eye symbolizes a concept. The concept is whatever energy you bring is coming back to you. So when you come to me and you bring this evil energy into my office or into my space, into my environment, I don't have to do a thing. The evil eye is going to symbolize what's going on in here is coming back to you, right? That was my intention. So I ordered the evil eye. And in the process of ordering it, I found out that Cynthia said this is the third eye, and that it's also, who knew, it's also known as a third eye. And listen to this, I found out that it is also known as the all-seeing eye of God. Yep, Anissa is saying, yep, I know about that. But yeah, and Anissa has the earrings. But when I saw the earrings, I said, oh, I like your evil eyes, right? Because that's what I had thought it was. But this icon symbolizes the all-seeing eye of God. Now, isn't that more positive? Isn't that more powerful? Yeah. And what it symbolizes is whatever you do, God knows. Well, you knew that because you know God is omniscient. God knows everything. God is omnipresent. And God is omniscient, omnipresent, and omnipotent, all powerful. And that's what this symbolizes. So some people, even myself in my ignorance, thought this was an evil eye. And that's what I had been told. And if you shop for an evil eye, you're going to see this. But at the same time, if you know that it is the all-seeing eye of God, and you shop for that, guess what? It's going to come up anyway. So I'm glad to know that this is a symbol for me. This is my symbol of the all-seeing eye of God. Now, let me tell you what else happened. Remember I told you there was a person that was being evil to me, right? I thought they were being evil to me. So she would always stick her head in my office and say something snarky, something not so nice. And one day, last week, it occurred to me to respond. Usually I just ignored it, and then I would say, I got to do something about this. I'm going to get me an evil eye. That'll work, right? But last week, it occurred to me to say to her when she did that, I said, I know that's your love language. When you say something nasty to somebody, that's really your love language. That's proving that you love them. I said that. So the next day, of course, she came in and she said another snarky remark. Some of these remarks have to do with religious science. So I just kept saying, oh, I know that's your love language. And then when I'd hear her say something snarky to someone else, I said, don't worry about it. That's her love language. When she loves you, she talks to you like that. So what happened was I started hearing these snarky remarks differently. This just happened last week. 5 days ago, 6 days ago, I started hearing her snarky remarks differently. And it became kind of a little joke between us. And the other thing is, when she made those remarks, she would always smile at the end because I had acknowledged what? This is her loving me. She's showing me love by doing this. And then she said to me one day, she says, my husband always tells me the way I know you like somebody is that you always harass them. And when you don't like somebody, you ignore them. This is her husband talking. So, obviously this was really what was going on the whole time. And here I am thinking she's picking on me and she's being mean. And in actuality, it just came to me. This is her love language. So I just had to tell you that because that's why I wanted to bring this to you, to let you know that so much of our experience is our perception. And, even if somebody else, if I had brought it to their attention, they would have said, well, I would have done this. Oh, I would report her, right? I would do this. I would do something in retaliation. Why? Because she has a weird love language? So we got to be mindful of that everything that we think is going on is not necessarily going on. And also, I wanted to talk to you about this book. This is the Science of Mind textbook. It's not called a textbook, but it is the textbook for religious science. Religious science is what we're about here. And the reason I mention it is because I know so many people are curious about religious science, and so many people are into religious science, but nobody wants to read the textbook. Now, so think about this. When you were in school and you were learning about reading, the first time you learned about reading, I know where I went to school, we had a book, and it was about Dick and Jane and Spot, right? Did you guys have that? See Dick run, 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 run. See, here comes Spot. Well, it wasn't here comes because that was next year, right? But the first year is see Spot run, 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 run. Okay, that was a textbook. You did not learn to read without a textbook. And later on in your educational career, you learned about arithmetic and mathematics and biology, right? All of those things you're exposed to. This is all part of the all-American education. But what is consistent about every one of these subjects? You had a textbook. And you had to read that textbook pretty much cover to cover. So religious science has a textbook too. And I'm just amazed that people love religious science and they love to talk about it and they love to work with it and they talk about their experience, but nobody's reading the textbook. What is going on? So some people say, well, it's hard to understand. It's so hard to understand. And I'm going to let you know what Ernest Holmes, the author of this textbook, says about that. On page 34, Ernest Holmes says, if we try to find something difficult to grasp, then we shall never grasp it, because we shall always think of it as being incomprehensible. The mind which we discover within us is the mind that governs everything. This is the thing itself, and we should recognize its simplicity. So Ernest Holmes knew way back on page 34 that this criticism was going to come up, that it's so difficult to grasp and so on. But it's not. It's really not. And as a way of showing you that, what I wanted to do today is just read to you from the textbook. I know this sounds like really boring, right? But you're going to like it. First, I'm going to read from this other textbook that we all know and love, the Holy Bible, right? If I can pull it up. There it is. I'm reading from Matthew 5 and 6. If you were raised anywhere near a Christian church, you will remember this story. Matthew 5 and 6, King James Version. You don't have to read from the King James Version, right? That's the only real authentic version. Yep, okay. Chapter 5. And seeing the multitudes, he went up into a mountain. And when he was set, his disciples came unto him. And he opened his mouth and taught them, saying, Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. Rejoice and be exceeding glad, for great is your reward in heaven. For so persecuted they the prophets which were before you. Ye are the salt of the earth, but if the salt have lost its savor, whither shall it be salted? It is thenceforth good for nothing, but to cast out and to be trodden under foot of men. Ye are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid. Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel, but on a candlestick, and it giveth light unto all that are in the house. Let your light so shine before men, that they may see your good works, and glorify your Father which is in heaven. Think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law, till all be fulfilled. Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments, and shall teach men so, he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. For I say unto you that except your righteousness shall exceed the righteousness of the scribes and Pharisees, you shall in no case enter into the kingdom of heaven. Ye have heard that it was said of them of old time, Thou shalt not kill. And whosoever shall kill shall be in danger of the judgment being killed. So ye have heard that it was said of them, Thou shalt not kill. And whosoever shall kill shall be in danger of the judgment, in danger of being killed. But I say unto you, and listen to this, that whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause shall be in danger of the judgment. And whosoever shall say to his brother, Raka, shall be in danger of the council. But whosoever shall say, Thou fool, shall be in danger of hellfire. All right, so we've all heard this, but none of us heard the word Raka, have we? I've never heard it, so I looked it up. I'll tell you what I found out. So, well, I can tell you what it is. Raka is from the Aramaic, and what it means is it's just an insult to one's intelligence. So it's like calling somebody stupid. So it says here, and whosoever shall say to his brother, Raka, like whosoever say to his brother, you stupid idiot, shall be in danger of the council. And whosoever shall say, Thou fool, shall be in danger of hellfire. So what you're getting here is Jesus talking, and what he's saying is killing is a big sin. We all know that. Thou shalt not kill. But anybody insults someone by calling them stupid, or as some of us say, calling them out of their name, right? Calling them a fool, insulting them. It's just the same as killing somebody. Can you believe that? That's sinful. It's just as big an offense to God as killing somebody. Think about that. Think about how many times you've called somebody an idiot or, something, because we do that. Nobody told us in Bible school, that this was a sin. Anyway, just reading. All right. Oh, by the way, I haven't even gotten to signs of mind yet. We're in the Bible. Remember that? We're still in the Bible here. Okay. So, therefore, if you bring thy gift to the altar, and there rememberest that thy brother hath aught against thee, leave there thy gift before the altar, and go thy way. First be reconciled to thy brother, and then come offer thy gift. Agree with thine adversary quickly while thou art in the way with him, lest at any time the adversary deliver thee to the judge, and the judge deliver thee to the officer, and thou be cast into prison. Verily I say unto you, thou shalt by no means come out thence, till thou hast paid the uttermost farthing. Ye have heard that it was said by them of old time, Thou shalt not commit adultery. But I say unto you that whosoever looketh on a woman to lust after her hath committed adultery with her already in his heart. And if thy right eye offend thee, pluck it out and cast it from thee. For it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not that thy whole body should be cast into hell. And if thy right hand offend thee, cut it off and cast it from thee. For it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not that thy whole body should be cast into hell. And it goes on about some other commandments. But what you can see here is that Jesus was talking about the Old Testament commandments, but he was expanding on them. He was saying that what's going on in your heart is just as important as the actions that you demonstrate. It's just as important, it's just as sinful to insult someone's intelligence as it is to kill them. Can you believe that? Nobody ever told you that. Nobody told me, and I was raised in the church, trust me. If it were said, I would have heard it. But anyway, so that, now I'm skipping a lot more because he talks about some other things that are just more commandments, and you can read it on your own time if you choose to read your King James Version of your Bible. I know you have one somewhere, and it's Matthew 5. So, and Matthew 6 goes on to tell you about how you should give gifts to the poor or to charities or to the church. You're supposed to do it in secret. Did you know that? You're not supposed to do it in front of men so that people can praise you for being so generous. But it's supposed to be something that you do, that thine alms may be in secret, and thy Father which seeth in secret himself shall reward thee openly. And when thou prayest, thou shalt not be as the hypocrites are, for they love to pray, standing in the synagogues and in the corners of the streets, that they may be seen of men. Verily I say unto you, they have their reward. But when thou prayest, enter into thy closet, and when thou hast shut the door, pray to thy Father which is in secret, and thy Father which seeth in secret shall reward thee openly. Okay, so this is Jesus talking now. Now, any questions? We've pretty much heard most of this before if you went to a Christian church. Now I'm going to read to you from The Science of Mind, Ernest Holmes. You heard me talk about the meek shall inherit the earth. The meek shall inherit the earth. I'm reading from Ernest Holmes. This is a teaching of non-resistance. Warlords and plunderers of human possessions have come and gone. Kingdoms have risen only to crumble in dust and become numbered with past events. Passion and lust for power have strewn the earth with destruction. It would seem as though the meek had lost out in this titanic struggle for temporal supremacy. In the midst of this drama of human existence, Jesus declared that the meek shall inherit the earth. Let us inquire if his teaching is a true one. Do we teach our children to follow the steps of Caesar and a Napoleon? Or do we tell them the story of Jesus or Buddha? The cross is mightier than the crown, and we teach our children that love masters everything. The meek shall inherit the earth. To whom have our artists turned for inspiration and that quickening power which enables them to depict the ideal? Not to the warlords, nor even the captains of industry, but to the meek. What characteristics are set before us as being worthy? Have not faith and belief in the divine goodness been the theme of our greatest singers? Who could write a beautiful story about hell? But heaven and love have inspired thousands to the uplifting of humanity. Jesus was right when he said that the meek shall inherit the earth. They have done so and will continue to do so. So this is just one example where Ernest Holmes is drawing on the teachings of Jesus and giving you some evidence that the teachings of Jesus are absolutely correct. And this is one of the things I like about religious science. I was raised as a Christian, and I love Jesus. I love Jesus as the biblical character. I love Jesus as the teacher And when I found religious science, I found no discord between the teachings of religious science and the teachings of Jesus, if you just read the textbook. Okay. The Father who seeth in secret. Let me point to my prop here. I'm reading from Ernest Holmes now, and this is on page 430. We are not to give our alms before men to be seen of them. We just talked about that from King James Version. But we are to do good for the pure love of good. Here Jesus is teaching the lesson of sincerity. Men will come and men will go. Friend and foe alike may fall away, but always the soul shall be thrown back upon itself. The indwelling spirit who lives in the secret place of our lives will ever be with us. And this Father who seeth in secret will reward us openly. So Ernest Holmes is actually using almost the exact same words that Jesus used in the Sermon on the Mount. Here again is a suggestion of the law of cause and effect. So we know we associate cause and effect with New Thought, religious science. But Jesus was teaching that on the Mount, of which Jesus so often spoke. Our prayers are to be made to God in the secret place of our own being. They are not to be shouted aloud for the ears of men. The soul must enter this secret place naked and alone. This is how the one returns to the one. Okay, the secret of prayer. The secret of prayer and its power in the outward life depends upon an unconditioned faith in and reliance upon this inner presence. We just heard this in Matthew 6 verse. We must enter the closet. That is, we are to shut out all else and enter the presence of spirit in quietness and confidence, believing. Prayer has power, not through repetition, but by belief and acceptance. Prayer is to be simple, direct, and receiving. We are to believe that God indwells our own life, that this divine present is sufficient for all needs. We are to believe that God will provide for and bless us abundantly. And when we enter this secret place, we are to leave all else behind, all hate, animosity, and vindictiveness, for only in doing so can we enter. Okay, so again, Ernest Holmes is, almost word for word, echoing the lessons of Jesus on the Sermon on the Mount. Now, this one really got me. The single eye. This is Matthew 6, chapter 22nd verse. I'm reading from Ernest Holmes' The Science of Mind textbook. If our eye is single, we shall be filled with light. That is, when we perceive the unity of God, we shall perceive it in its entirety, an undivided whole. But if our eye be filled with evil, we shall remain in darkness. We must cleave to the good and trust absolutely in the law of God to bring about any desired end. Spirit will mold our purposes when we allow it to do so, and we learn to depend more and more upon the perfect law. Let me read that again. And we learn to depend more and more upon the perfect law. We shall find that the outward things which are necessary to our good will be provided. We shall be cared for as the lilies of the field, which live directly upon the divine bounty, and yet they toil not nor do they spin. Okay. The divine bounty. This is also from the Science of Mind textbook. As God cares for the birds who do not gather into barns, so shall we be cared for if we trust and do not doubt. But we are to seek the kingdom first. Jesus bade us to completely trust in God for everything in every instance. He had a complete reliance upon God. Dare we say that such a confidence will be misplaced? Have we ever tried it? Until we have tried and failed, we are not in a position to contradict this theory. Those who have implicitly relied upon this theory are proving the principle to be definite and one upon which an absolute reliance may be placed. So let me share a story from my own life. So I work in an environment where I'm supposed to look professional every day. Almost every day of the week I'm in court for the solicitor's office, that's the prosecutor's office that prosecutes misdemeanors and traffic offenses in Douglas County. So dressing is part of the job. And of course, every night before work, I would always stress about, oh, what am I gonna wear tomorrow? You know, oh, what suit can I put on? Oh, you know, it was just it was just part of the job, and it was part of my routine to just stress about it. So then one day I came across this Bible verse, probably on some app that I have on my phone, and it says, and it's talking about the lilies of the field. I think I'll read it to you. It's Matthew 6:22. No, Matthew 6:26. Let me see if I can find it for you. So, bear with me here. Okay, Matthew 6:26, King James Version. Behold the fowls of the air. Jesus is talking here. For they sow not, neither do they reap, nor gather into barns. Yet your heavenly Father feedeth them. Are ye not much better than they? Which of you by taking thought can add 1 cubit unto his nature? And they're saying, which of you by worrying can, grow a cubit, however long that is? And why take ye thought for raiment? Consider the lilies of the field, how they grow. They toil not, neither do they spin. And yet I say unto you that even Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these. Wherefore, if God so clothe the grass of the field, which today is and tomorrow is cast into the oven, shall he not much more clothe you, O ye of little faith? Therefore, take no thought, saying, what shall we eat? Or what shall we drink? Or wherewithal shall we be clothed? For your heavenly Father knoweth that ye have need of all these things. But seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. So I came across this on my phone. And like I said, I was stressing every night of the 5-day work week about what I was going to wear the next day. And I said, okay, I'm going to try it. I'm not going to worry about what I'm going to wear. I'm just going to get up in the morning, and I have this, I don't want to say it's an arrangement, but it was an agreement with God. I think I told you about it one time before, and I said, God, I don't read signs well, talk to me in plain English. And ever since then, this was years and years ago, God speaks to me in plain English. Now, don't tell anybody, because when you hear voices, that's considered psychosis. And it's grounds for you to be locked up in an institution. I'm telling you the truth. So when I said this, I was like, I'm telling the truth, but don't tell anybody, or you may not see me. I may be locked up like somebody. But anyway, So let me just finish. So I started saying, I get up in the morning and I say, thank you, God, for waking me up. Thank you for, breath in my body and, just that stuff. See, I'm old school, so I just talk to God the way I learned in Sunday school. Thank you, God, for this, that, the other thing. And then I say, okay, God, what are we going to wear today? And this happened, this started like maybe 6 months ago or more. I have never, ever gone to work improperly dressed. I walk in the door, people are always complimenting me. How do I look? How do I look? This stuff works. This stuff works. Jesus was telling you this back on the Sermon on the Mount when none of us were even a sparkle in our parents' eyes, right? But here it says that. And let me tell you who else told you this. Ernest Holmes says, dare we say that such confidence will be misplaced, having complete reliance on God? Have we ever tried it? Until we have tried and failed, we are not in a position to contradict this theory. Let me tell you, I'm a witness. I tried it, and it works. Those who have implicitly relied upon this theory are proving the principle to be definite and one upon which absolute reliance may be placed. So for those of you who have not tried it, Dawn Scotland is telling you her experience. Ernest Holmes on page 432 of what? The Science of Mind textbook is telling you the same thing. So this is just what I'm trying to share with you. So here's another one. I didn't pull this up, but you've heard, judge not that ye be not judged, right? You've heard that. That's Matthew 7, chapter, first verse. Judge not that ye be not judged, for with what judgment ye shall be judged, and with what measure ye meet meaning dole out, it shall be measured to you again. So this statement could come only from one who had a deep insight into the universal law of, you know what this is, cause and effect, which balances everything and sees that in the long run, everyone receives his just due. This law Emerson called the High Chancellor of God. The law of cause and effect is the law of perfect balance, of logical sequence, and of inevitable consequences. Whatever a man sows, he must reap. The law of cause and effect is immutable, unchangeable, and every man's action produces an effect in his life, which he must ultimately experience unless he transcends the law already set in motion. Such a concept supposes that we are surrounded by a universal law which is entirely impartial and which returns to the thinker the logical effect of his actions. Man, being a free agent in this law, whether consciously or in ignorance, is continually setting it in some motion to some definite end. Therefore, it is true, unalterably true, that he must reap as he has sown. This means that life must return to us the manifestation of our motives, thoughts, and desires. Whether these motives, thoughts, and desires were intended for ourselves or others. It means that the thought of judgment, criticism, and condemnation must in time operate against the one who sets it in motion. So, and he goes on to discuss this. Well, this is science of mind, right? This is what Ernest Holmes is talking about in the Science of Mind textbook, and reaping and sowing, and judge not that ye be not judged. Okay, so there's one here. Let's see, where is it? I got to read this one. This is not from Matthew, but I just came across it on page 441. It points to my prop, the all-seeing eye of God. This is Luke 12th chapter, 2nd verse. Nothing can be hidden. In saying, quote, there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, and hid that shall not be known. That's what Jesus said. Jesus was referring to the mind that knows, to the all-seeing eye from which nothing is concealed. The cosmic ear hears everything. The eternal mind knows all things. And the law of cause and effect brings everything to pass in due time. Okay? So, I think, is Angela here? Okay, well, I'll share this one with her personally. But here's the point. For those of you who are recovering Christians, trust me, your argument is not with Jesus. Your argument is the way Jesus was used. In the same way, someone can take an ancient icon called an eye, a single eye, and turn it into an evil eye when other people know full well, and I do too now, that it represents the all-knowing eye of God, or the third eye, which is the eye that gives you insight to the inner presence of God in you, that again knows all things, sees all things. So I just want you to know, if you have a problem, if there's something in your mind that says, well, I was raised this way, and religious science is not that, or if someone is accusing you of being a member of a cult repeatedly in public over and over again, know that the way you perceive those comments will measure your response. And it may just be a weird love language. So now, I'm going to go way back. I know you're tired of me reading this, right? No? Okay. You can get your own Science of Mind textbook. Mine is falling apart. But you know what? After I read all of this last night or early this morning, I said, I'm going to order some of these books so that all of you who may want one can buy one. Remember, I talked to you about money, so I'm not going to give it to you, but I will sell it to you. And when they come, they're going to be, they may be as much as 2 weeks, but they will be here, and you can have your own, very own copy of the Science of Mind textbook and read it at your leisure. You will be surprised what's in this book. You will be so surprised. And I already told you about, first, did anything I say sound overly complex, difficult to understand, incomprehensible? It was pretty much straightforward, right? I mean, the King James Bible is probably more complicated or hard to understand than the Science of Mind textbook. But this will show you how some people will say something and then someone else will repeat it and repeat it and repeat it, and we all get this idea that this is the case, but it's not. You have to try these things out for yourself, just like I tried out relying on God for my outfit every day. It works splendidly. I'm telling you, I'm not trying to brag, but I'm just telling you what happened. I'm just telling you what happened. So, does anybody have any questions for me? Okay. Oh, okay. Yes. 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 Okay. Oh, so you won't need. Well, the ones that I purchased were all used, but in very good condition. And I even got a hardback for someone. I got a second hardback for me because this one, it's definitely showing its wear. So, but we got plenty of paperbacks coming, and the price cannot be beat. So I want to read something to you as well. I'm going to have to sit down now when I read this, but I want to read something to you that is not by Ernest Holmes. Thank you. But this is a book by someone who I never heard of before. When I read it, it resonated to me like the first time I heard a religious science speaker. The first religious science speaker I heard was Kennedy Schultz, who's no longer with us. But when I walked out of the church, and this was in Atlanta, I just couldn't stop talking about it. I was so impressed because when you hear the truth, you know it. It's something within you, even if it's going against what you've been taught all your life. When you hear it, you know it. And that's the way I felt about that first talk that I heard at a religious science church. Okay, so this book, when I read it, I was just so happy that I got it. It's called When God Made You. Can you see okay. So I'm going to read to you. I wish I had some hot chocolate and some cookies, sugar-free cookies. Huh? Next time I read it. Ever since I got this book, which was several years ago, I've been dying for the opportunity to read it to you. I am so happy. I hope you'll enjoy it. Ready? Okay. You, when God made you all shiny and new. An incredible you, a you all your own, a you unlike anyone ever else known, or else ever known. A you like anyone else ever known, okay? An exclusive design, one God refined. You're a perfectly crafted, one of a kind. Because when God made you, somehow God knew that the world needed someone exactly like you. God thinks about you. God was thinking of you long before your debut. From the very beginning, amid history and time, you, little one, never left God's mind. This takes Dr. Seuss to another level. God imagined your eyes, your head's shape and size, and knew what you'd look like when you felt surprised. God pictured your nose and all 10 of your toes. The sound of your voice, God had it composed. The lines on your hands, your hair, every strand. God knew every detail like it was all planned. Out of billions of faces from cultures, all races, people God made from all different places, God knew your name. Your picture is framed. God's family without you would not be the same. And don't you feel that way when somebody's not at church? Like Connie, yeah. And Angela, I'm missing Angela today. Because when God made you, this much is true. The world got to meet who God already knew. You, when God sees you, God delights in what is and sees only what's true. That you Yes, you, in all of your glory, bring color and rhythm and rhyme to God's story. And here's another picture. You see yourself, Cynthia, in here? I hear you in here all the time. So be you, fully you, a show-stopping review. I saw you on TikTok. I saw her on TikTok. A show-stopping review. Live your life in full color, every tint, every hue. Discover, explore, have faith, but love more. And learn and relearn all that God made you for. Use your talents and passions, those gifts that God fashioned. Think up ideas and then put them to action. Because God loves you creating, your true self displaying, when light on the inside through art is portraying. When you make believe, the stories conceived, the heroics, the magic, those tricks up your sleeve. When you dance alone, spinning like a cyclone, being whoever, whatever, in a world all your own, God smiles, and here's why. In the spark of your eye, a familiar reflection shines bright from inside. Because when God made you and the world oohed and awed, in heaven they called you an image of God. You, when God dreams about you, God dreams about all that in you will be true. That you, God's you, will be hopeful and kind, a giver who lives with all heart, soul, and mind. A dreamer who dreams in big and small themes, one who keeps dreaming in journeys upstream. A mover, a shaker, a lover of nature. Where's my lover of nature here? Okay, I'm missing one. Oh, there's another one. Oh, there's a bunch of lovers of nature here. A builder of bridges, you the peacemaker. A you who views others as sisters and brothers. Yes, I'm talking to you, Miss Anissa. And lives by 3 words: love one another. A confident you, strong and brave too, Miss Deborah. You being you is God's dream coming true. Because when God made you, all of heaven was beaming. Over you, God was smiling and already dreaming. And so the story ends. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Cynthia will be doing our musical selection.
You can introduce me.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome Cynthia to the stage.
Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Dawn, my sister, my spiritual sister. Thank you so much. I enjoyed that. It was enlightening, really. I confess I haven't read the textbook. I guess I'm going to. Okay, all right, I'm going to. Dorothea and I were talking the other day about when we first met, we were out driving around looking for a building to have our church in because we have been online all during COVID. And during that time, I wrote this song. It's called It's Totally Possible. And at the time, it seemed a little impossible for us to have a beautiful center, and I'm so grateful for it. So this song is in celebration of creating this center. The old ways are dying, so let us begin with power and humility. We're not afraid to say we want it all. It's a world of possibilities. We created this, and there's so much we can do. We can take the world apart and put it back together new. And innocence will rule the world. Kindness will be gold. And trust will be our currency. With love beautiful and bold. It's all it's totally possible to have all our dreams come true. It's totally possible. Our new dreams are precious, visions for the world. I hold yours here in my heart. And as dreams manifest in our reality, let the celebration start. We created this, and there's so much we can do. We can dream a million dreams, and they will all come true. And compassion will rule the world. Our kindness will be gold. And trust will be our currency. With love beautiful and bold. And it's all it's totally possible to have all our dreams come true. It's totally possible. We move from abundance to scarcity, from isolation to community. And with loving hearts we trust what the universe holds for us. 'Cause we created this, and there's so much we can do. We can take the world apart and put it back together new. And passion will rule the world, and kindness will be gold, and trust will be our currency. beautiful and bold. And it's all totally possible to have all your dreams come true. It's totally possible. Yeah, it's totally possible. One more time. It's totally possible.
I love that song. I was jamming with it.
I just recorded it last week, the soundtrack. I
It's
got a
really
new
good.
album coming. I'm
It's really
about
good.
halfway through.
Conscious giving. It's now time for conscious giving to our community. Money is a spiritual activity. Spiritual giving is an opportunity to express our gratitude and open our consciousness to receive greater abundance. It is the practice of participating in the circulation of universal good. We have 3 ways to give here at CSL West Georgia. 1, you can put cash or check in the envelope found in the bulletin. Or number 2, you can donate electronically with your phone by using the information found on the back of the bulletin. This information is also being placed in the chat window for our online viewers. And 3, you can also donate online using your personal Breeze account. We acknowledge online giving by using an online giving card. If you did not pick one up at the door, please take one from the usher, Ronnie, and place it in the collection plate. Now, as one consciousness for prosperity, let us say together, freely I give with a feeling of abundance, knowing that my gift blesses others as well as myself.
Freely I give, giving from my heart and from my soul. Freely I give, and the gifts come back to me tenfold. Lovingly I give, giving from my heart and from my soul. Lovingly I give, and the gifts come back to me tenfold. And the gifts come back to me tenfold.
I am grateful for the divine givingness circulating abundantly through my life, our community, and our world. It's time for our
Announcements.
It's time for our announcements. Next Sunday, our guest speaker will be Dorothea Gates. Messages always on target. We are looking forward to hearing her speak. Brunch with Bronte. On Sunday, September the 10th, our guest speaker will be Reverend Bronte, a retired Unity minister who will be speaking for us for the first time. We are going to welcome her to our community with a wonderful brunch. Deborah and Dorothea are creating a menu, and they will be putting together a list of food items that would like people to volunteer to bring. So we are calling it, once again, Brunch with Bronte.
Oh, wonderful.
Thursday night study group. We do have an awesome Thursday night study group. Every Thursday evening, we have a spiritual study group. Oh, there we go. Every Thursday evening, we have a spiritual study group from 7:30 to 9 p.m. Here at the center. We are currently using the basic principles of Science of Mind by Dr. Frederick Bales as our material. It is a wonderful, wonderful opportunity to come together, share, laugh, and learn from each other. Affirmative prayer treatment. If anyone is dealing with an issue for which you would like support, our practitioner, Shauna, is available to talk with you after the service and do an affirmative prayer treatment for you. Also, we have prayer cards on the table by the door. If you fill out the card and put it in the white box, a prayer treatment will be done for you during the week. Social media. We would love for you to connect with us on our social media platform. Be sure to like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Outside of this, does anyone else have an announcement?
I do. Sherry Henley will be singing for us next Sunday. You don't want to miss that. She's always incredible, and we look forward to seeing her next week.
Awesome. Closing affirmation. Let us stand and say our closing affirmation. We go forth to serve knowing that we are God's blessing in the world. Only good comes from us, only good comes to us, and so it is.
And we like to circle up and sing our peace song. And let's dedicate this song to the people in Maui who are suffering from all that destruction. I'm wearing a Hawaiian today in honor of them. Several of us are. Let there be peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with spirit and freedom, united all are we. Let us with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me. Yes, this is the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solemn vow, to take each moment and live each moment, peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth. Yes, it begins with me. Thank you.